I've got the brush assembly here out of the starter motor, and I've taken all the old brushes out. So these are some of the old worn brushes, and you can see there's a new brush, and I think that's the worst worn one. And these brushes from Northwest Motorcycles are a direct drop-in replacement. You don't need to mess around with them at all. Now, there's a basic check I'm going to do on the brush holder, is that two of the brush assemblies, let's see if I can show you this, have got brass spacers underneath, and two of them have got insulating spacers underneath, and they're in opposed pairs. So I'm just going to check with my continuity meter that the brush holders that are meant to be insulated are in fact insulated, and the connected ones are connected. If that isn't the case, you're going to have to drill the rivets out and check the insulation. It's probably fairly unlikely, but let's come in a little bit tighter here. Okay, now actually let's not come in tighter. I want to check that the new brushes are a nice free fit in the brush holder, so I need to actually take the brush spring out, and with a pair of needle nose pliers I can just lift it. And it's slightly tricky, got to lift it up, pivot it out around the outside of the brush holder, and then that's the tension off. So now I can take the new brush and put it into the holder and just see how it slides, and it is catching. So, and in fact I can see the marks on the brush from where it's catching the holder. And just as a matter of interest, I'm going to do that same thing with the old brush, well, with what length I've got of the old brush to work with. I think they were possibly, there must be a slight difference in the width of the old and new brushes. Okay, so I'll get a file and we'll just ease those brush holders. I've gone and got my dead smooth file, which is very, very fine and is just about the right size. And I've got the safe edge down against the bottom of the holder. It almost feels more like a burr than anything else. Yep, there we go. One nice free brush. So we can put that in. Lift the spring up and over and onto the end of the brush. Now there's usually a trick you can do with brushes and brush springs when the brushes are reasonably new, and that's you can ease the brush out and sit the spring on the side of the brush, and that holds the brushes out so that when you put the starter motor or generator or whatever together, it slips through. You're not trying to manoeuvre the individual brushes back. So the only thing I can see that I'm not 100% happy with perhaps is that the the tags on the brushes are a little bit long, so we'll see what sort of problem that might give when I come to put back together. Yeah, I mean it's normally gonna sit like this. We might need to bend that, but just for the moment I'll put the screw in loosely. And we'll go round and do all of these. Let's check if this one's, yeah, that one's lovely and free. Okay, and well, I won't do the other two on camera, but they're going to be just the same. And we've got the armature, and I've put the new bearing on, and we've got the field coil assembly, which has really just been given a good clean in brake and electrical cleaner, and we now have to attach the brush gear onto the windings. So I've just got one more brush to set the spring onto, like so. No, when we popped one off earlier. There we go. Now the field, the power comes in on the main terminal, passes through 2 of the field coils, then into the brush gear, across the brushes to the other pair of field coils, which are also connected to this terminal. So these 2 wires need to be connected to the 2 brushes which have the insulator underneath, and they're connected by the strap on the back. So this should go on either way round, and I just want to have a look at how this is going to work in terms of the brush wires. Yeah, now I'm not entirely happy with the way the brush lead is running so close to the back plate with this rather lengthy tag on it. So what I've done on the other side is to put a bend, about a 90-degree bend in the tag, and to bring it up and over the top, which then keeps it up and away from the base plate. I'm gonna do a better job of bending that. There we go. That's more like it. So that'll come up and over like that, and that way this wire will not be getting in the way of the base plate. So we take the other, well, this pair of screws one on each of the non-insulated brushes can be tightened up, and yeah, that seems to be okay. And while I'm thinking about it, I'll put the strip of insulating material down into the motor. So I've now got to get these two connected through. Let's see, I'll tip it over for you. If we bring it out, you can see I've got a screw through the winding, through the tag, and into the little threaded post. We'll just get that started. And do the same on the other side. We just persuade it into position. There we go. And get the screw in. Okay, so I'll just check that field winding wire goes to the insulated brush holders. Oops, we just popped a brush in, and the other one. Let's see if we can reset those. That's one. That's the other. Oop, slightly further. Come on. That's it. I'm just making sure the brush gear is sitting reasonably straight and level, and that we're not fouling on anything. Okay, we've got the gearbox, and we'll just engage the flat edge of the shaft, into the slot with the shaft supported in the bearing. There's a notch in the casing, and there should be a pin. There's just about enough remaining on here to work. Slide that over, align it up, and I swap hands and give that a little tap into place. So now that the commutator is through the brushes, I can slip the brushes in, and go and pick up the end plate. So here we go, and I'll have to check which way up this goes. With the picture in the manual. So we've got the motor in the same orientation, and we can see that the rear mounting hole is at the bottom, just like that. And yeah, I can see I'm going to have to bend these tags as well slightly. Actually, we'll bend them over the same way as the other ones, which will give more length on the brush wires. And actually, I think wherever that strip of insulator is meant to go, I think I'm actually happier having it up here. And that rear bearing is just a light fit into the casing. I've got the two long bolts. Try this again. We need to take the sleeves off. Put the long bolts through and the sleeves back on. Go through the holes in the brush plate. Feel for where the bolts engage. I'll start running those in. And just pull them down evenly as it pulls the case onto the rear bearing. Now there's two screws that are meant to be here holding the brush plate into the end of the motor, and they were missing on that starter motor, so I'm just going to steal a pair from the other one, and we're just going to, well, they're 12mm by M4s, so well, actually let's have a yeah, I think we probably actually have got some. We want some spring washers for those. smaller socket. Now I think we're ready to test this motor, and you shouldn't ever, you know, if you're going to use crocodile clips or whatever from a battery to test a motor, don't clip onto the screw terminal, because you're liable to damage the thread. So put a bit of cable on there, and we can earth to the casing, and with any luck, moment of truth, and you can hear it's gradually getting running better and better as the brushes seat themselves to the commutator. And I reckon we've got a good chance of that doing a good job of cranking the engine when we get the side casing all put back together.